Hello, all of you. We have completed all the topics now. So combined for all the topics now, we should discuss MCQs. It's very easy to do MCQs and the second thing, case laws after every chapter. Chapter wise for a teacher, it's very easy to put up. This is house property on the case laws for house property. But the problem is in the exam, they are coming jumbled. Question number 5 is part specifically for the case laws in the CMA exam and 5 marks and 4 marks, 4 case laws you have to answer for 16 marks, right or not? So these case laws, how to answer and all, instead of going directly chapter wise, we will go collectively weightage wise as they are asked in exam. Okay. Now, before we do that, we will do one thing. We will write the paper pattern as of now, or we'll little bit changes whatever are there in the, what do you say, in the online exam that we can take care. Okay, right? So please open your material, notebook, and write down the paper pattern with me. This is, you can't see these are professional exams. So I'm just giving you now the weightage. You may be asking, this was like initially many students were asking, ma'am, can you say weightage wise kya padhe, kya nahi padhe? So frankly, to sab padhna hai na. But now I'll highlight the topics which are asked weightage wise where. Okay, right? Okay, the schedule also, let me tell you. I'm giving you the paper pattern and weightage and all, and later on, we will be shifting to the case laws. Tomorrow also this same class will continue for the case laws and the MCQ. It's not today and tomorrow, whatever classes are required according to your response, right? Okay. So now we are writing here CMA final direct taxation paper pattern. Yeah. Write down. लिखने से ना mind तैयार रहता है. Of course, there can be little bit changes. Now, first you have in this section A. Section A. Section A has MCQs which are very in-depth and 2 marks each. Not 1 mark, 2 marks each. MCQs is there. 2 marks and 10 questions. That makes it 20 marks. Clear? Compulsory to attempt, but not compulsory to attempt first. Whatever you know best, you should do. Now, in question number B, you have 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Frankly, I'll tell you one thing. बहुत ज़्यादा, when there is more choice, we are confused and we take a lot of time. So you need to be very smart enough. Out of 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. So total कितने questions हुए? 7 questions. So out of 7 questions, you need to attempt any 5 questions of 16 marks each. So that makes it 80 marks, and that is your 100 marks. All right, all clear to you. Now, in this 16 marks, you have combinations. The combinations are like every exam fix you have 16 marks question usually for math or 8 plus 8 marks. Like they can ask you math for 8 marks and trust related problems. You remember we have done how to apply the income and take the exemption and invest it and all that. 85% should be applied and so on. So 8 plus 8 marks. Sometimes 8 plus 5 plus 3. Is this all helpful to all of you to give you a mindset? Okay, ma'am, can I do question number 2 ka A part and question number 4 ka B part? No. When you attempt any question, you make sure all the bits are together. Like suppose you started with question number 3, B karna hai to B karo. but leave the space for A. So I hope I am making it clear that do all the, what do you say? Do all the parts, you know, the subparts of the question together. And one very important pitfall, Wonderla की slide में नहीं गिरना. Don't be tempted to solve extra questions. Okay, I tried my best to solve second, third, fourth, fifth, sixth. Fine. Now out of seventh and eighth, I knew one answer, so I wrote extra. Whichever will more, they will give marks and they will correct. No, gone are the days, please. If you solve one question also extra in the last, it will not be corrected. Question number 1, section A. Section B, mein first 5 questions will be corrected and given marks. Earlier they used to do, they're asking you the choice to solve 5. You're solving 7, then they check everything and whichever has highest marks they will take. That was a trend earlier, not now. So is this clear to all of you? Second, third, fourth, fifth, sixth, seventh and eighth. Out of this, you have to solve any. Now, you know the problem with this paper pattern, not exactly problem, but I am helping you to make a mindset is internally also you have lot of choice. Like question number 1, I'll tell you how it is. Choice karte hain. Question number 1 to ho gaya. Now question number 2. Question number 1 is done, no? Here. Question number 1. Write down, add as I am writing. Are you all comfortable writing? कोई पीछे तो नहीं रह गया ना? Now question number 2. अब question number 2 में क्या होगा? AOP. You remember? AOP, AMT, and all we have done the taxation part. BOI, how to calculate the tax and all. That is usually asked for 8 marks. Question number 2A. Just not it's like यही आएगा ऐसे. And B part is your business connection, your residential status. Okay. Sometimes you have simple questions like what is the tax planning, what is the tax avoidance and all. You remember? They'll give you the case and you have to put the taglines. 8 marks, 8, 2 marks each, like that. 4 questions they'll give you and tag it whether this is tax planning or whether this is tax management. So this covers your question number 2. Question number 3 is usually MAT ka super question for 16 marks. So you need to make all add and less and provisions and all that we have already worked out separately. Question number 4, A-bit. Now this has many times different kind of the questions. Kabhi kabhi return of income. Kabhi kabhi other questions are also covered here for 5 marks, 8 marks. But with this, the combination asked is business restructuring. And in the business restructuring, with lot of emphasis, I said capital gain is very important. You remember? Convert the capital gain on the purchase date, currency and all, or slum sale. I want all of you to underline now what is very important. Have we done slum sale problems? Outrightly whole unit you are selling, then fixed assets you have to take at the WDV and non-depreciable asset at the original cost without the revaluations and so on. So slum sale is also part of the capital gain. Question number 5 is fixed for case laws, but here you are having 5. Out of that, any 4 into 4, that makes it 16 marks. So again, you read 5 case laws. It's okay if you want to answer C first and then A, then D, then B. Chalega. But bit of the question should be solved together. Of course, that works. First impression is the best impression. So you can go ahead by answering question number 5C, question number 5A, question number 5E, and then question number 5B. Your wish, no harm. Clear? So this covers your case law. So as I told you, you have choice in the main questions also. You have choice internally also. Okay. Now comes the most favorite, international taxation. Question number 6A. international taxation, right? In international taxation, the first question is usually transfer pricing method. You remember we have done transfer pricing method, cup method, and resale method and all that. So method for ALP. Any one of the method, usually weightage wise, cup method, cost plus resale, उसमें भी cup method ही पूछते हैं. And against this, you have one more. This whole is, you can write international taxation, 16 marks. Total, I hope you remember 70-30 is the weightage for direct tax and international taxation. So now in the B part, we have DTAA. You remember questions we have solved for DTA, IPTA. IPTA से related questions किए थे ना? Or non-resident. Non-resident, how will you calculate the tax for the non-resident? So usually practical paper is only there and very easy, right? Okay. Same for question number 7. A and B, out of this only, any other questions will be asked for transfer pricing. Transfer pricing weightage is 30 marks. So here it is 16 marks. If you attempt 5, 6 and 7, then yahi ho gaya. And some questions will be there in the MCQs also. And last, question number 8 is super scoring. Write a short note. How is my speed? Can someone respond? You're able to write? Write a short note. Again 5 they will give. Again you have internal choice. Any 4 into 4, 16 marks. I'll give you a list. I've already, when I've taught you day 1 till we completed yesterday our syllabus, I've taught you mark T for theory question. But still I was planning one day put together all the material. We can write all theory questions together. Now here one question is fixed on ICDS. Have you studied 1 to 10 ICDS? What are the important points? Carve in, carve out. Right? So make sure ICDS at the advanced level. What's the difference in the Ind AS, ICDS? Considering AS2 valuation rules. Chargeability of the depreciation. Revenue recognition. So while teaching, I have highlighted that Ind AS or AS and ICDS is same except for these points. So weightage wise, and listen, very important point I want to say, they're asking you short notes. But if you write in points, absolutely okay. It looks neat when you write A point, B point, C point. And in every point, if you can, I know there's no time to use other pen and all, but usi point ko, usi pen se you have to underline. Right? Yeah. Okay. Second is like write a short note on double taxation of advance pricing agreement, rollback provisions. Do you remember? Right? And then some small topics. Tax recovery certificate. How do you go for the tax recovery certificate? What all things should be there? Where is it used? Tax recovery certificate is used to recover the tax from NRI. Then we have settlement commissions related, some provisions. Advance ruling. So like that, small topics are asked. And weightage wise, there is lot of repetition. So impermissible. Avoidance agreement. This is nothing but I have taught you this as GAR. So what are the conditions about what limit it is applicable from financial year 17, 18, and so on. And the transactions in which all the parties are benefiting should exceed the limits and all that you have to write. This has already been asked 5 times. More I'll give you the short notes, but this is just by going through all the exam papers together. ऐसा ही paper आएगा जरूरी नहीं है. And now coming to the online exam. Yeah. One second. Yeah. Keep asking your doubts. See, if you're asking me that how to attempt the theory question in the online, you will have to do little bit typing practice. Typing tutors are available, so keep practicing typing. Huh? अब वो करना पड़ेगा. I remember in my school days, just by way of fun, I did, but now it is helping me. Many times, if typist is not there, I make my own question paper rather than marking and giving खुद ही type कर लो हो जाता है. So it is helpful. And all the other questions, like if I come to this, yes, I'll tell you. And one more, I'll take, if it is online exam, no, now coming October. So how it is going to be, I'll tell you, sure. Like just, you remember we have solved IPTA problems? Add back the depreciation interest and then deduct how much is the interest allowed is up to 30% and so on. So, you know, you calculate the first value and put the answer. You're allowed to use answer sheet, paper pe to karna hi hai. And then the third step answer you have to write and make it more clear. For example, fair and municipal value, whichever is higher, that standard rate. So you got GAV. Now GAV is your step one answer in the online. Then you deduct municipal taxes, you get NAV. NAV is your answer. Then you deduct 30%. So you have to do the calculation on the paper and you have to type in the bits. So automatically, if your NAV is correct, means you have calculated the GAV and municipal tax correct. अगर NAV correct आ गया तो 30% correct आएगा ही. And interest on loan, like that, step marks are there. And once separately, we will take up 1.5 hour class for mock test. कैसे होगा, क्या होगा? Are you getting now little weightage wise or not? Now you may be saying assessment procedure कहाँ है? So mainly the assessment procedure is covered in MCQs also and in case studies also. But it is there. Assessment procedure से related best judgment and reassessment and raid and all the cases they are asking the questions. Okay, right? And business restructuring. Look at the weightage of international taxation. And in direct taxation, I can say match. And even in the class, ma'am, I will leave off 16 marks question. आया तो पूरा correct गया. ऐसे नहीं है. MAT is the way you have solved business head in Inter. Net profit, add, depreciation as per books, deduct, depreciation. So how you did add and less, for every step marks are there. And questions are almost picked up from the past exams and your study material. CMA study material has also got good questions for MAT. So for theory, you can refer our material, and at least for problems, of course, I have also taken too many problems for MAT, for trust. I remember we have written the booster notes, we have done the flow charts also. तो अगर फिर भी आपको लग रहा है कि वेटेज वाइज कोई टॉपिक छूट गया, मुझे तो नहीं लग रहा है. सी, इंटरनेशनल टैक्सेशन, transfer pricing is most important, 16 marks. And in the remaining 14 marks, you will have DTA, one problem, non-resident taxation, one problem, 4 marks, 5 marks, and remaining will be covered in MCQs. Okay. So as we complete the paper pattern, I am starting with how to attempt case laws. And tomorrow I will show you how to calculate and put the answer. See, MCQs, when they are 2 marks, you have to calculate the tax with the surcharge and all. Like what we have done, अभी कलम ने penalty का provisions के problem किए थे ना, 270 वाला under reported income. Like that is a hot favorite for MCQs. So note this down. 2 minutes, I'll be back and ask me your doubts. Then we will start with case laws. And if everything is clear, at least put me a message, all clear, ma'am. Any doubt in the concept weightage wise? See, we have not left any topic. Penalties also we did for 3 classes. ICDS we have done 5 classes. Equalization levy, advanced ruling, settlement. See, when you now read, no, you read from the running notes first. You'll be very clear. Okay. Any doubts on the paper pattern anywhere? Anyone? Okay. Sure. So now we are doing this case laws. Okay, there was once an exam in which instead of question number 5, they asked it in question number 7. Ma'am, you to said question number 5. See, these are professional exams. So, but at least if you know some paper pattern and all, no, the mindset is clear how to attempt it. That's why I'm giving you all this. Okay, right? So instead of 5th question, they can ask you in the 7th question also. Okay, right? Sure. Let us take up now the past exams papers I am taking up. We will do one thing. I'll not discuss the whole paper now. Instead of that, I'll discuss how to attempt the case laws. Okay, right. Okay, one thing you note down when they're asking you case laws, how they are expecting you to attempt. The what all details you should write in the case law. वो एक बार लिख लेते हैं. Yeah, write down. Brief you can write in points, no problem. Case laws. क्या लिखोगे case laws में? First point. Issue involved. What is the problem? Why did this case go to High Court, Supreme Court, and then it became a judgment in the form of case law? And it's okay, please, if you don't remember CIT versus High Court or Supreme Court and name of the case and all, not required to quote. If you really find it interesting and if you really want to learn and quote, it's an added advantage. But नहीं किया तो no problem. CIT है, PCIT है, appeals है, और हाई कोर्ट है, सुप्रीम कोर्ट है, और आनंद है कि क्या है केस का नाम, not necessary. So issue involved, then we have provisions. So related to this issue, what are the provisions in the income tax? Third step is analysis. Can we analyze how this provision we can apply in this? And then fourth one is conclusion. Fourth one is the conclusion. Nice and very clear to all of you. First is issue involved कि हुआ क्या है. Second is whatever issue you are discussing related to that. Is there a case? I mean, is there a law? What does that law say? And once you finish, okay, analyze this law. You put it with this case. In this case, how we can apply that law. That is the third part, analysis. And fourth part is conclusion. So, in this case law, the decision was given in the favor of SSC or decision was given in the favor of AO, assessing office. Done? It's very interesting. Don't say, ma'am, we will study everything and we will leave off. Case law के लिए अलग से पढ़ना ही नहीं है. Now when I'm reading, I'll touch up capital gain, business restructuring, assessment procedure, and simple, all the topics. So within your case, and important cases we have covered in the chapter also. If you remember, survey and raid and search, all case studies with answers we have done. So when you read that, it is the same thing you have to write here. Okay? One second. I'll open the file for all of you. What we're doing right now. Everyone in the class finished noting down weightage, the concept, huh? How important. That is why I think 8 to 9 classes we took for math. अभी भी क्लियर नहीं है तो मैथ का फॉर्मेट देखो, क्या ऐड करना है, क्या लेस करना है, ऑल वी हैव रिटन ओवर देयर. Yeah. Can you see on screen? June 2019's exam paper this is. Okay? Right. Working note should form part of the answer. This is for assessment here because this is June 19. Question number 1, which is compulsory, and any 5 questions from question number 2 to 8. MCQs बाद में करेंगे. I'm not doing the whole paper. I just want to go to the case law and discuss with all of you how to attempt the case law. You will get an idea now. So you read at home. We'll keep a gap. Like tomorrow I'm doing MCQs. Case laws I'm starting off now. And we will do other case laws also. So now you'll get an idea how to read it. ठीक है? चलो. See, capital gain one question is must, net profit add and less. Okay, so here we begin. This is, you can note down if you want, June 2019's question paper. June 2019's question paper. Okay, right. Let us read the first question number 5, A bit. I told you you have internal choice to go for only 4. But of course, any, you can say, any 4 you can attempt. Any 4 you can attempt. And let me tell you one thing. See, some of you are asking me, ma'am, in the final, shall we know the inter? Then yes, please. Huh? There are revision lectures. I have already put detailed revision lecture for salary, for business, and for house property. At least like gist of salary chapter. Standard deduction, 40,000 PF limit, and you know, entertainment allowance. ये याद रहना है. At the final level also they are asking. House property only they are asking the questions. Whether this rental income will be taxable in business head or in house property. So we have done all this in depth, vacant and all. So just brush up and nahi bholte. When you have studied so nicely income tax and inter and you have scored so well marks, you will not forget it. ठीक है? चलो. In the light of decision case laws, answer the following questions. Okay. Right. Issue involved, brief discussion, analysis, conclusion. See, they have already written there. Citation of the case is not necessary. It's not necessary. If you like it or if you remember, yeah, ma'am, this versus this, fine. Mr. Dhanpal, a resident individual, sold a plot 48 months back for 70 lakhs and invested the net sale proceeds in residential house. Take a pause. When you sell one house and when you buy another house within 2 years, construction 3 years forward from the date of the transfer, then you get exemption under section 54. Like I'm reading as if a student will read and what will go in their mind. Now, he does not own any other residential house. Okay, he has sold the house and he purchased another house. The new house, however, is in the name of, actually, he has not sold house, sorry, he has sold house plot. So if you sell plot and if you purchase house, you get an exemption in 54F. The new house, however, is in the name of his wife. Now, AO refuses to grant exemption under section 54 on the ground that new residential house is not in the name of SSC. Superb, no? You have sold anything. If you buy house, you get section 54F exemption. And I hope you remember it's in cross multiplication form. Like, I'll tell you 1 second. I'll tell you. It says like this, that sale consideration is 25. Capital gain is 5. Look at the screen. And you have invested 18. So in sale consideration, this much is capital gain. In your investment, how much? So like this, you have to cross multiply and take capital gain exemption. But the problem with Mr. Dhanpal is he sold the plot, but he has purchased the house in the name of wife. Okay. AO says no, if you sell, you should only buy. Now they are asking you that AO refuses to grant exemption. Is the rejection justified? Is AO correct? I want every student and wait. 10 बार पढ़ो. अब आपको you have to start like analyzing and giving the answers. Give the answer yes or no. Is the AO correct or not in rejecting the exemption? No, we will not give you exemption. So if you feel that AO is correct, type yes. AO is wrong, type no. Yes, no, nahi to Y and unmute and speak up, no, Bindas. Don't be worried, recording is going on. All of you have come to learn. Many times, I tell you the secret, if 5 students are asking same doubt, no, I make the video and publish it in YouTube. Because when 5 are asking, definitely behind them 15 are there more who have not followed and they're not asking this doubt. Aap mat karo ise, answer. Take 5 minutes time, read it, paro. I don't want to rush in here. Answer. I always say this, the more you dare in classroom, the more you dare in exam, and the more you dare in the outer world. Okay? It's not necessary that when you answer, you will be right. If you are right, yes, confidence is genuinely boosted. If you are wrong, super pinch, will not forget it. Bolo. Okay, answers are coming in or Acha, I am reading this case law. So are you able to connect the law related to this second part? We are talking about 54F. Many times it's okay. At final you may not be able to recorrect. अरे हाँ कुछ तो ऐसा इंटर में पढ़ा था. It's okay. You can go and refer. Website है आपके पास material है. Thank you so much for this response. Nice. One second. So you want to say AO is not right? And some are saying, yes, ma'am, AO is right. Isn't it interesting? And purposely I'm going a little slow because these questions are repeated so that you understand and you learn it. This answer says AO is wrong. It's necessary that payment for purchase of house should go from Dhanpal. But if Dhanpal purchases the house in his own name or in his wife's name, doesn't affect. But yeah, wife should not pay. Dhanpal should pay the cash and the house is purchased in the name of the wife. So obviously it is like gifting or whatever you say, but husband to wife, that is not there. So he only invested the sale proceeds in purchase of new house, but he did not buy it. Okay. So once it is not buying, let us read now how this answer will be. See, very quickly. What is the issue involved? Issue under consideration is whether exemption 54 can be denied if sale proceeds are invested in the house in stipulated time, but house is purchased in the name of wife, not in his name. Then 54, ये तो हो गया issue. A provision. What does 54F says? It says that you should purchase a house within the time. It does not require that purchase of house should be in the name of the SSE. It only requires SSE should purchase or construct. SSE should purchase 2 years forward from the date of transfer, 3 years forward construct from the date of transfer. But the new house, whether you do it for yourself or in your wife's name, absolutely no problem. Right? Okay. Now, analysis of the given issue. In this case, Mr. Dhanpal had not purchased. Ab isko, see, this is the issue involved. This is the provision. Now, analyze, I mean say merge. Now, how will you apply this provision in this issue? Second to first point you have to link. In this case, Dhanpal has not purchased the house in the name of stranger or somebody, but he has purchased it in the name of wife. Entire investment for the purchase of house is out of the sale proceeds, and there was no contribution from his wife. Therefore, having regard to the rule and object, Dhanpal is entitled for 54F. Okay. So now the conclusion is, in this case, action taken by AO for rejecting deduction due to reason that he had invested the sale proceeds in the name of his wife and all is not valid. Valid ही नहीं है वो. I hope you are getting. AO's claim is not valid. Reference may be made to decision in CIT versus Kamla Wahal's case 213 and all those numbers and all are not absolutely not important. ठीक है. Anyone wants me to repeat this case? You know, similar to this, I'm recollecting one more question is also. Here it was. The husband has transferred the house and to save capital gain, he invested in the name of the wife. In another case, husband has sold the house, Dhanpal, and say he purchased another house, but the other party is not doing the registration only. 3 years are over. I have paid you full amount. This I am seeing case besides me. For purchase of the property, full amount we have paid. This is the 10th year. But they are not ready to do the registration. I have sold the house. I purchased another house within the time limit. And it's not I have paid some token amount. I paid the full money. But the other party is not doing the registration. So I didn't get ownership. So will I get capital gain? What do you say? Answer bolo aap. Isko ye ho gaya khatam. Abhi I have told you something from my mind. Clear or not? What I said. I have sold a house. I purchased another house with say Niti Constructions. I paid them the whole money within 3 years. I want to claim capital gain section 54. But 5 years are over. Niti Construction is not registering the house in my name. I hope you know this paperwork and all, and you have to go to the office, corporation office, and do the transfer and pay the stamp duty and all. So that procedural delay is there. What is your answer? Answer. Will I get the exemption? Yes. No, then type no. Yes, then type yes. Exemption मिलेगा या नहीं मिलेगा? बोलो. I will get the exemption. Because I paid the full amount, it's just the procedural delay. So capital gain exemption cannot be denied. Okay? Chalo. We are going to question number 2. Is my speed fine? Or you want me to read word to word or how? Please give the feedback. As a teacher, I don't want to teach how I want to teach. I want to teach the way you understand the best case laws. Okay. Bosch Group of Educational Institute running 3 famous colleges in Kolkata. They have claimed the exemption. All these 3 colleges, there is a net surplus and the AO rejected the claim for exemption on the ground that surplus leads to inference and institution does not exceed solely for the educational purpose. Now see, if you are an educational institute claiming exemption under section 1023C, you have to file return under section 139 4A, 4B, 4C, right? Then these kind of trust, most of the educational institute, they are with some trust. Badruka College, it is Shamla Devi Trust. And then you go to St. Joseph's College, it is some trust. So behind these colleges, trust and all are there. So they are not working for profit. That's why they charge a very reasonable fees. And out of that, they meet up the payment of salaries and college depreciation, building, rent, and all their admin expenses. Now, they are not supposed to make the profit. Here, coincidentally, all the three colleges are making surplus. So, AO is saying we will not give you exemption because you are working with profit motive. Is the AO correct? Is the rejection of the AO justified? Answer is no. They can make exemption and little bit surplus, provided they prove that they have abided by all the laws and whatever is the income they have invested properly and all. And overall, listen, earning surplus is not wrong. But if these are colleges and institutions, surplus have fixed use. That 5% of the surplus goes to host seminars. 10% of the surplus, this goes for sports activity. So like that, even if they are making surplus, if they are using it properly, no problem. So you cannot just reject it. So let us see now the question number 5, the issue. Issue is that he was justified in rejecting the claim on ground that SSE is making profit. Provisions of 1023 postulates 3 requirements. They say educational institute must exist solely for educational purpose. Okay? 1 second. Yeah. Second condition is the educational institute should not be for the purpose of the profit. Third is aggregate amount of the receipt should not exceed amount as may be prescribed. Okay? I tell you, I remember some case not related to income tax, but out of the, I don't remember his name. 1 second, I'll tell you. Okay. I'll tell you, I don't know how many of you can recollect. What I'm saying is 8 years or so, maybe tentatively, railways, Indian railways are not working with profit motive. I hope all of you know. They, this is to understand this case. Trust, colleges, schools, temples, orphanage, whoever are covered under section 10, 11, 12, trust, registration and all, Gaushalas, all this they work. So Indian railways are not supposed to make the profits. That is why the prices are very reasonable for the sleeper class, the 3-tier, the Garib Rath and all. Yeah, luxury, Duranto and all, they are charging. So 8 years back, I don't know who was the railway minister. This is an interesting case. And what he did, usually we have in sleeper and AC 3-tier and all 3 seats, like the middle one also you can do. In the same way, he brought 3 seats in the side also. That was like so discomfortable. I remember, I don't know, 8-10 years we were traveling. Side seat jo hogi hai na, usme bhi he bought 1, 2, 3. So, okay, even if they sleep 1, 2, 3, how they are going to sit? 3 people on that slim train seat. So this was brought, and actually in the same compartment where 72 people were traveling, now they could accommodate 100 people. And they generated more revenue. And then they said, no, we are not for revenues, please. Some comfort also we need to give to the travelers. And again, it was removed. Ye bhi waisa hi hai. Schools and colleges are working for educational purpose and they are not supposed to make profit. Following test would be applied in determining whether educational institute existed solely for profit or how. Okay? The fact that where an educational institute carries on activity of education primarily, the fact that it makes surplus does not lead to conclusion that it exists solely for education. Profit hona doesn't mean that you've worked with the not working with the educational motive. Working with educational motive also you can make profit. Predominant object test must be applied. The purpose of educational institute should not be submerged by profit-making motive. A distinction must be drawn between making of surplus and an institution being carried on. Merely because imparting of education results in making a profit, it cannot be inferred that it becomes an activity of the profit. If after meeting expenditure, surplus is incidental and carried over, it will not cease. You can write that point that later on how you studied fund-based accounting in the non-trading concern. Ultimately, test is whether overall view of matter concerned object is to make profit or for educating. Therefore, action of AO in rejecting the claim is not valid. Making a profit doesn't mean that you're not working with educational motive, provided your object of the trust is clear and your expenditures and your investments are according to proper rules. You remember, whenever trust is formed, object of the trust is important. Reference may be made to Queen's Education Society versus CIT. Nice, clear. बहुत ज़्यादा in depth है या समझ में आ रहा है case laws? Give some response. See, when I solve problems, you all calculate and you keep giving me so many answers in the chat box. So ठीक है, I am also calculating. अब आज क्या calculate करें? Huh? So at least give answer whether you are following and whether you are enjoying or not. Okay, all clear. Good, good, good. Chalo. Okay, right. And the more you read, you will just like it like anything. Repeatedness is there. I'll tell you one or two questions जो बार-बार आ चुके हैं. Some Chandra Textiles had borrowed 2 crore from bank during the period when business was set up. Now, from the surplus fund, it made short-term deposit and earned 3 lakh. Okay? The SSC claimed that it was not a revenue receipt, but a capital receipt. Since interest was earned prior to the commencement of business, and interest received would be offset by interest paid on loan. The assessing officer negated the claim of the assessee. Is the AO justified? You have taken 2 crore loan for your business purpose and you are paying interest. I hope you all remember AS 16 borrowing cost, and ICDS is also there related to this, which says that okay, interest till the asset is getting ready should be capitalized, added. So, so this interest they are paying, that they are adding, fine. But in between, they had a surplus fund and they have made FD. Sometimes when I take a big loan, my interest meter is going. And 1 month because of COVID or because of some reason or because of some permissions delay, my work is stopped. I don't need this fund. Can I invest it in and get some income? Yes. Now, can we net off this income from interest paid? If you say AS 16, no, answer is yes. But if we are in income tax class, if you have earned interest on deposits, you have to show it in income from other sources. So AO is negating the claim. Means he is saying, no, you can't deduct interest received minus interest paid or net off karo or capitalize karoge. So the loss to the government is they are not earning interest as income. So very important point of the ICDS is you have to show interest income received as other source. You need not net off. This time AO is correct. Is he justified in his action? Answer is yes. Let us read the C1 very quickly. Issue is interest income of 2 lakh on FDs would be capital receipt or it should be taken as revenue receipt and chargeable. If you take it as revenue receipt, you have to tax it. And don't say we'll tax it as business income. Interest which is taxable, chargeable to tax would be assessable under income from other source. If such income is not exempt and it is not chargeable to tax under any other head, including the business income. Because expenditure also you are not putting in business head. You are adding it to the cost of the asset. So income if you have earned, you have to pay tax on that. Interest earned by assessee is income unless it can be shown that it is exempt. See, this looks little bit complicated, ma'am. You taught something in AS, but this is it. I want to repeat here. If you earn income, either it is exempt, like PPF interest, exempt, or it will be taxable business head need to other source. So either exempt. The fact that source of income was borrowed, money does not detract anything from the revenue. Okay. Interest payable on the funds borrowed prior to the commencement of such business can be capitalized. Okay. However, such interest payable cannot be adjusted against interest received. I hope you are getting what I am saying. Whatever interest you pay till the asset is getting ready, that you can capitalize even in income tax because it's a capital expenditure and it's not your day-to-day revenue. But if you have got an income, you have to pay tax. Conclusion is, since the assessee has deposited the money with prior to commencement of the business, such interest is taxable in income from other sources. एक बार business शुरू हो गया and if you are putting interest as expense, then this as income you can put. According to AO's action is legal and valid. Reference is Allahabad High Court in PCIT versus Sangam Power Generation. Once business is started, and if you put business expenditure as interest paid, the business receives the RJ. Okay. Okay. Over to the next case, which is really very interesting and asked so many times. What mazedar question है. Acha, before I take this question, tell me. Since I'm teaching PCC, IPCC में VAT पढ़ाया students को, service tax पढ़ाया, and now it is income tax and GST. Acha, tell me one thing. In like when you go to above a level hotels, those chain of hotels, branded hotels, along with the service tax, compulsory they charge service charge. Of service tax, instead of service tax, you have GST. When you pay restaurant bills, you have GST. On that, they are charging service charge. Ab ye kaun sa tax hai? Ma'am, you taught us income tax, GST is there and custom is there, finished. Now what is all this? So service charge ke form mein they collect some percentage income which they later on distribute as tips to employees. Dhyan se suno. Now, as an employee, if you are working in restaurant, whatever income your employer is paying, he will deduct TDS. Yes or no? It's a big restaurant, 50 employees, TDS to katega. Which section? Section 192. Employer-employee relationship. Whatever is the tax divided by 12 TDS to katega. Now, employer is collecting these tips from the customer and giving to the employee. Now, AO said, why didn't you deduct TDS here? You paid to employee, no? Tip. You should deduct the TDS. Acha, tell me one thing. Are tips taxable in the hands of employee? Answer is yes. Are they taxable under head income from salary? I don't know. Should the employer have deducted the TDS? Don't know. That's what is the case. Am I interesting? Right. Now you first interpret and talk about it. What did you understand? Is the AO right here? TDS katna tha na? पढ़ेंगे question? Vishal Hotels run a famous restaurant. Customers require the same ad tips given to the servers. The tips so collected is pooled and distributed to employees. Assessing officer of the TDS what has issued a notice that why didn't you deduct the TDS and tips paid to employee? Since same is nothing but a payment of salary. SSC seeks your advice. साहब help करो sir, क्या करते? Who is right in this case? AO is right or SSC is right? Answer, put your answers. Whatever you feel right, go ahead. You have come to learn. Is AO correct? TDS katna tha or is SSC correct? And if you can give some reason also for this. Why? Tell me. Who is correct? This time, SSC is correct. AO is not correct. You know, employer to employee relationship by like waterfall, whatever employer gives to employee is taxable under income from salary. But this time, employer is only channel. You are getting, I mean, say the employee is getting tips from the customer. It's channelized through employer. So employer is not making any payment. So no question of TDS. And yeah, customer is paying to employee tips. It should be taxable under income from other sources. So salary mein, you don't have to enter that salary section 15 chargeability section. बिल्कुल भी नहीं आएगा. The issue under consideration is whether tips received by the hotel customers and distributed are covered under salary and should TDS deducted. Superb, no? Are you getting? Issue is not that issue what we talk in. I don't know. Do you enjoy watching Tarak Mehta? If something goes wrong, 1-to-1, 1-to-1, all 15 people's expression are shown. Now you have to write in exam issue in 2 lines straight. The issue is the tip paid by employer to employee subject to TDS and will it be taxable under salary? Both answers are no. Now what's the provision? 192 requires that under the head salary, TDS will be deducted if employee receives any payment from employer. Now analyze. In respect of ma'am, should we write all these points? No, please. They have explained it in quite in depth. You write 2 good points, enough. In respect of tips collected from customer, the person responsible for paying employee is not the employer but a third person. There is no vested right in employee to claim an amount of tip. Tips are purely volunteer. कोई force नहीं है. An income from tips would be chargeable in the ends of employee as income from other sources on account of such tips being received from customers. Yes. So income from other sources mein aayega, it will be taxable. So why we should deduct the TDS under 192? Tips are received by employee as a trustee to their employees for services rendered and there no reference of contract. Employer से कोई contract नहीं है कि sir through you we should get at least 1,000 rupees as tip every Sunday. No. Payment of collected tips include and paid by way of credit card would not be the payment made by or on behalf of employer. Contract of employment is not there and all. Hence payment would not fall within salary. Conclusion. AO is not correct in concluding tips received by the hotel employee distributed to employee as salaries. Reference may be made to the Apex Port in ITC Limited. ITC is a hotel, no? I told you his service charge with tips is a branded hotels में problem है if you go to versus CIT. Nice. So I took half an hour to discuss 5 questions. That's fine. और भी करेंगे. We can do one more paper, no? Which one we have discussed right now? June 19. Let us discuss December 19. If you have any conflict in your mind or how to answer, let me know. Nice, no? I hope you're enjoying this. Same interesting are the MCQs. The purpose, I have taken important case laws in the form of case studies. In all the chapters, you will see 4 or 5 last case studies. Yes, penalty is also second class. First day, we have solved 270 under reporting problem. Second day, we took case laws. 44A के लिए penalty लगा तो 44AB by issue charge and all. Fine, but this is the way when you do combine, no, you open up and you're ready to solve it in final exam also. Sure. Let us take up now. I'm taking December 2019's question. Okay? 2 minutes, even if you want to take a break, very quick break of 2 minutes, just 2 minutes. And then we are solving this. After this, December 18, I'll solve it tomorrow. Just continue to. Okay, let us take up some MCQs. Maybe MCQs to कल करना है. छुपाओ सब MCQs को. Straight we will take up right now the case laws. ठीक है? These are so good, the math related questions. You know, it gives you a very nice confidence after your preparation if you solve some of the questions. It's okay. Sometimes that mindset is not there. अरे 3 घंटे कहाँ निकालना? So you should. नहीं है तो one paper you solve for 3 hours, another paper you break down 1.5 or 1 hour करो. चलो. Oh, what happened now? Okay, let us start with the third one. Question number 5. Same way you have to. What happened? पेज भी मूव कर रहे हैं तो प्रॉब्लम हो रहा है. 1 second. Yeah. Let us read the question number 1 only for this. In the light of decisions, I hope now I can skip this part. And the next one is some cooperative society deriving income of 2 crores for which deduction was allowed under ATP. Okay, this is also one very interesting one which is asked, I think 3 to 4 times. Can you please note down एक employee का tip वाला and this section 14A, what I have been discussing. So, you know, cooperative society, they should show 2 crore income for which deduction was allowed under section 80P. 80P में. The total income of SSC was 3 crore. AO disallowed 40% of the interest expenditure under section 14A. According to AO, out of aggregate 5 crore income, 3 plus 2, 5, 2 crore did not form part of the same. So is the disallowance made by AO justified? Now, first thing, many of you may not be knowing, so let me tell you what is section 14A. Listen, all of you. Section 14A says, whenever an income is exempt under section 10, related expenditure are disallowed under section 14A. Am I very clear? Listen. How do I give you one example? कोई भी exempt income ले लो. For example, suppose you are getting some Paramveer Chakra award. Now that award and scholarships, what you get from government is exempt. Now Paramveer Chakra award is exempt. So to get that award, now, suppose you have gone to Delhi and you have incurred some expense. Can you claim that expense? Anyone know? When income is exempt, related to that expense, you cannot claim and show it as loss. Am I making this concept clear? Now come to the next thing. There are few incomes which are taxable under the head income. And after the gross total income, you give deductions. Like ATP, ye wala, cooperative society. Right? So then, they are saying 3 plus 2, 5 crore. 5 crore ka 40%, 2 crore. So they are saying 40% of interest expense you should not allow because 2 crore anyways you are going to tax as income and claim the deduction as cooperative society ATP. Then answer to this question is 14A is restrict. This is little technical. मैं वापस भी पढ़ाऊंगी, आप ध्यान से सुनो. 14A is applicable only to exempt income. 14A is applicable only to exempt income. It is not applicable to deductions. Is this clear to all of you? Right? Sure. So now, according to you, out of aggregate 5 crore and 2 crore did not form part and all. ठीक है, चलो अब इसको next पढ़ते हैं answer. So AO is not correct in disallowing the expense. You are allowed to claim the expenses. The issue under consideration is 14A can be invoked or not. So what is the provisions? See, the case is, can you invoke 14A for chapter 6A deductions? Conclusion is no. 14A can be invoked only for exempt income, not for chapter 6A deductions. 14A enjoins no deduction shall be allowed in respect of expenditure relating to income which is exempt. Case to samajh mein aaya, issue involved. What is the provision? Provision says that related to exempt income, you can't claim any expenditure. Now, in given situation, income in question was not covered by any exemption. This was an income which formed part of the gross total income for which deduction was availed. Section 14A is applicable only in respect of expenditure relating to income which is exempt under section 10 and not where income is one for which deduction is available under chapter 6A. Analysis is section 14A is applicable only in respect of exempt income and not related to income which is taxable, and then you get chapter 6A deduction. So conclusion is the assessing officer invokes the provisions of 14A is incorrect. Reference may be made to CIT versus CRIPCO and all. Take your time now please, क्योंकि ये और इसको मार्क करो. CA भी एग्जाम में भी और CMA में भी बहुत बार ये सेम आता है केस में. One is that tips, employees tips, and one is this section 14. Yeah. And ask your doubt, is it very easy or not? समझ में आया आपको? June and December 2019 papers I have taken for the case laws to give you the presentation. More case laws we do from the material, and MCQs we'll discuss tomorrow. If you want more case laws, we can take up in the beginning. Chalo. I'll go to the third one. ये clear है? फिर से एक बार I want to explain section 14A says when income is exempted, related to that expenditure is not allowed. Section 14A is applicable only to exempt income, not to that income which is taxable, and then you give chapter 6A. Right? So interest expenditure को allow करना चाहिए. Now, Lamanes indicates owns several house properties let out on commercial basis. Okay. One of the objective of company is to own and derive the income from immovable property. Rental income was offered by company as business income. Various deductions were claimed. See, if you take rental income is आपका काम ही है 8-9 properties rent पे देते रहना, you know. Your main source of income is rental income. And if you claim it in business side, the benefit is you can claim the depreciation of those buildings, interest, salary, many other expenditure. Whereas if you tax in house property, only 3 deductions: municipal tax, NAV, interest, and standard deduction. So AO treated the rental income as house property. Discuss whether the treatment of income by the company is correct. What do you feel? AO is saying house property hai ye. Knock knock, employer-employee relationship, section 15, salary. Owner and tenant relationship, knock knock, chargeability, section 22. Business, if you do, chargeability, section 28. So like that, you know, every head of income has its chargeability section. So is the AO correct? You are deriving rent? No, the house property mein tax karo. 2 self-occupied properties are allowed anyhow. I hope all of you know. See, at final level, house property weightage is this only. Whether if person is involved in real estate, एक काम करते हैं, मेरे को 2-3 और cases याद आ रहे हैं related to this. I'll discuss. First, you say the answer for this. This kind of income, can it be taxed under business side or no? Employer-employee relationship है तो, sorry, owner-tenant relationship है तो house property only. Give your answer, no? Some response, whatever you feel correct. Good. Who is correct? Can we tax this as house property income? Or AO is saying house property and the SSC is saying business head. They've already taken it as business income and they've taken various deductions also. This time the SSC is correct. SSC will correct. If your main purpose of giving out on rent is earning rental income and you're doing it as your business, you can show it as business income. Okay? Right. So let us see very quickly the answer. I'll go a little fast because the language was easier. Issue is whether income derived from company is accessible as business income or house property. So beautiful. One line में case they have explained whether this is business income or house property. Provision says where income in question earned. Where income in question earned as mere owner, it will be house property. If income is derived from business, which includes letting out of property as business and all, then you can go. Analysis is letting out of property, collection of rent may be correct, but where letting is a part of trading operations. Directly line means difficult, but in case of company with professional object and rental income and all, then object of the company is carrying on business of letting out. Conclusion is this time the SSC company is correct. SSC company. ये बहुत rare case है when SSC is correct. Let me tell you, one person does real estate business. You know real estate? He makes bungalows and villas and flats, and he buys and sells. Okay. So his stock in trade is like opening stock of plots and houses, purchases, closing stock. He's doing business of real estate. Khareedte hain, bechte hain, all. But because of pandemic, he realized that coming 6 months, he's not going to be able to sell any house. But he's getting lot of requirements for rental. So he thought, chalo, kuch na kuch income hoga. And he let it out on the rent. Now this rental income will be taxable under house property. Because his main business was not putting it on rent. Main is buying and selling of the houses. But in between, if he has got some rental income, it will be taxable as house property. Or an example I can give, notional income tax hoti hai kitni baar? House property mein. So that is because they are saying ki itna to kam se kam rent you have to show. Okay, right. Acha, one more case I want to say. There was a company, and what they did that for employee nearby to the company only they made quarters. Who is owning the quarters? The company. And company is giving to employees at a very nominal rent. Their main purpose is not to earn rental income. Main purpose is comfort to the employees so that they avoid traveling time and they reach fast. Acha hai, chalo. So now rental income derived by the company from the employee, where it will be taxable income from business end. Kyun? Because building is owned by company. They are maintaining. They are charging depreciation. They are putting all the expenditure in business, and this miscellaneous rental income is like nothing. So to match, you can tax it under business head. I can give you 10 cases only for this, that ye house property mein aayega business. And I hope all of you know, open plot if you give to circus and some functions and yoga programs and all, open plot se rental income hota hai, vacant land, it is taxable under income from other sources because there is no building appurtenant to it. Nice. See it now. So what was this case? Inka kaam hi tha rental income. You know, so many times they keep one person to collect all the rentals. So definitely it's going to be taxable like this. Chalo. Next. Okay. Panduram. So did we do Panduram? No, we'll do it now. Pandurang sold a residential house property and invested whole the long-term capital gain for purchasing flat. The possession was not handed over by the builder to the SSE even after 3 years, even though entire sale consideration is paid. This already I discussed with you. Like you have sold the house, you have purchased the house, and you have paid, but the registration is not done. The SSE refused to grant exemption on the ground that condition for purchase of house is not satisfied. But he has purchased the house, he had paid everything. So this time SSE is correct. इसको जल्दी से पढ़ लेते हैं. The issue involved is, can exemption under 54 be denied on the ground that a new residential house is not purchased? Exemption is available long-term capital gain if you purchase another house within 2 years. And the inference is, you have already made the complete payment. In the given case, SSE has paid entire sale consideration. Thus, he has complied. No, you wanted him to invest, sell one house, buy one house. He is doing that. Conclusion is, A was not justified in denying exemption under section 54. Okay? Sure. Next, now we are doing fourth one. Blue Sky Airlines. Okay, this is superb. Listen to me before I start this. While teaching TDS also, I said there is always a debate in 194I and 194C. So what is 194C? C for contract payment. And what is 194I? Above 2,40,000 if you're paying rent to anyone. So Blue Sky Airlines SSC company was operating and payment of 34 lakhs was made to the airport authority. Okay. I hope all of you know practically that airlines companies, all the difference, Indigo and this and that and all, they have to pay charges. That's why they usually don't prefer delaying the flights. 5-10 minutes, if all the passengers are in, they take it before time. Because if they stay half an hour also extra, they need to pay lakhs of rupees as charges to the Airport Authority of India. So this time, the airlines company has paid 30 lakhs to Airport Authority under a contract, and TDS is deducted. Okay, we will use the Hyderabad airport and we'll pay you charges. AO contended that the same were paid for parking of the aircraft, being payment made for use of land. So it should be rental and not contract. What do you think? Are the airlines paying rent? I want to repeat. Are the airlines paying the payment to the airport authority in the form of rent for using the space? Answer is no. Airport authority is giving all the other facilities. You know, emergencies, connectors they put up. Those folding collections, connectors which directly go into the flight, and other stuff to refill the air and petrol and all, and taking on and luggage and all. So the luggage employees are authorized by the airport authority, but they are doing the work for all the airlines, no? So airlines is not just paying the charge to airport authority for rental or for hiring the land. It's a contract which includes all the services. Okay, we will park it here and you will give a special layover for our passengers to get out quickly, and in half an hour you will clean the aircraft and do all the needful things. Got my point or not? So is the contention of airport correct? Answer is no, not at all correct. Sure, we'll do this now. Saath mein karte hain. The issue involved is whether payment made by the airport by airlines to the airport authority is 194C or 194I. Are you liking the way they are writing issue? Provisions. 194 says contract at a 2% cut. 194I says if you pay land rent, this is not ye 2019 ka paper hai. Now the limit is 240. If you pay rentals about 240, you have to cut the TDS. Now payment was not just for the use of land alone, but for parking, aero bridge, customer support services and all. So it's a bundle of service. So you can't charge the TDS under 194I. It has to be 194C. Clear? It has to be 194C, and the contention of AO is not correct in this. Chalo, next now. EBIT. SSC was dealing in Indian-made foreign liquor. It was purchasing, yeah, this is the last one for today. We will do more case laws and more MCQs in tomorrow's class. Okay? Right. Make sure you keep responding, all of you, the way you are doing now. The SSC was dealing in Indian-made foreign liquor. It was purchasing Indian-made foreign liquor in wholesale from the state government and selling it for the higher prices in the market. Okay? So what they were doing? They were purchasing from the government Indian-made foreign liquor and they were selling in the open market. Who? The SSC company. The department recovered documents during survey which showed that SSC has sold this liquor at a price higher than what they have shown in books. In books, if it is 100, actually they have sold in 120. So are they suppressing the sale? Addition was made under section 68 for suppressing the sale. Some credit in your books. Is the AO correct? See, now here they have given diplomatic. Abhi tak, sometimes the answer is very clear. Now here they are saying कि अगर बिल्कुल proof है कि there is suppression, then go ahead. But otherwise, usually these liquor rates are, open in the market. I may sell my stock to someone in 120 and someone in 110 and someone in 115. So if the market rates are open, prices are going to fluctuate. You can't say that there is undercutting of the price and sales. So like this, they have given the answer. Unexplained cash credit under section 68. Under section 68 enjoys that where any sum is found credit in the books of assessment and the SSE offers no explanation about the nature and source, and some so credited may be. So the provision is, if there is some unexplained credit in your books and if you don't show the cash account debit to Murli, now who is Murli? From where did you get the money? Is this a loan or is this your own cash or how? Excuse me. If you are not able to prove, it will be taxable. Analysis of the issue. During survey, it was found the SSE in excess of prices shown in the books. AO on the basis of document recovered made addition of income on account of suppressed sales. There was no restriction with respect to price for which liquor had to be sold by the person holding license. Since the price was variable and sales suppression detected was actual price for which liquor was sold, addition made on account of sales suppression was sustained. The SSE's contention is therefore incorrect and is not sustainable. Reference made by the Kerala High Court case. I told you that they are giving diplomatic answer. They are saying 68 says that if any cash credit is there and all fine, but if it is proved that suppression is genuinely there, so you are caught up. If it is proved that market rates are open, you can charge as and how you write, and there are fluctuations seen throughout the year, then you cannot do. But in this case, the SSE lost the case and the AO won it because there was fluctuation, and jahan pe you have charged less rate, it was proved. Okay? See, look at this now to give you more confidence. I'm not taking case studies. Today we have discussed June 2019, December 2019 exams paper. You can download from the website and give it a second reading now only. So now you have understood and you will get 110% more clarity. But just I'm scrolling and showing you this 6A, like I told you, 6A is for transfer pricing. So this transfer pricing problem we have already done. Then this is for IPTA. This is already there in the CMA study material. Same problem, same values, 5 marks. State where the following actions would lead to establishment of P in India. Now you know cases P hai ya nahi, associate enterprise hai ya nahi, transfer pricing lagega ya nahi. You remember those cases when active businesses outside India and all. So these are the usual questions asked, and you can easily see this is the table method we have done. Just I'm scrolling kuch. Abhi residential, he is resident and ordinary resident. So easy. World income he has to pay the tax. And he's a non-resident engaged in the shipping business and all. So he's going for the presumptive taxation. So percentage income he has to show. One second. Yeah. 7.5% of whatever you receive, you show as income, and then done. And see this, write short note. One ICDS, capitalization of borrowing cost, just now we discussed in the case law. Consequence of impermissible, GAR. GAR ka consequence kya hai? You have to pay the tax. Whatever, mutually you have adjusted and tried to run away from that income is added back, that expenses is disallowed. Assessment procedure under black money. Okay. Secondary adjustment. Sometimes after the first adjustments in transfer, secondary adjustment is whatever is increase in income, you have to bring it in India. What are the documents you have to find? Ek other question related to procedure they are asking. Okay. See, you may not understand everything now, because we have just finished the portion, but this is to boost that now how you have to prepare for the second time. Read the notes, read the booster notes, read the concept, go through the problems, and then do institutes problem. You have nice, good quality time you are having, more than 2 months. So it's not just, no sir, I have kahin na kahin 40-50 mile, so somewhere you have to get the exemption. I think this is the subject where you can get exemptions, because awesomeness is questions are asked very easily. Transfer pricing, ALP method, IPTA, that non-resident taxation, DTA, tax in India, less tax credit of foreign country, same kind of questions and format and all we have already written. Yes, but you have to work hard, you have to repeat and reread the things. Ask your doubts now, all clear or not? Was today's class interesting? And how much was the speed following? Did you follow each and every case law? All of you were there or not from the beginning when I gave the paper pattern? So that is going to be very helpful for the upcoming exam. And online you have to write the steps. Steps likhna hai aapko. In the online exam, working you can do in the booklet. That booklet also you have to submit, because this time home-based option is not there. It is center-based option. And more we will practice in case law karenge, right? Okay, that's all for today. Thank you so much. Tomorrow we'll continue with more case laws and some MCQs also I will introduce. Okay, right. Bye bye all of you.